From the Fantasy Armchair, it is the Fantasy TyRant. Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. It's me, the Fantasy TyRant, back here in the Fantasy Armchair to help you in this dismal Week 17. Yeah, it sucks to play in Week 17, but I'm here to help you out. I got you covered. I'm not going to bullshit too much. We're going to go into the ranks in just a second here. Real quick though, if you like what you see, give me a like, give me subscribe, help me out so I can help you out, alright? One more thing before I get to the ranks. This Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's your 1 hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour, the last one of the year, alright? So you're not going to want to miss it. If you want some more in-depth analysis, up-to-date rankings, things like that, alright? Go check me out there. Otherwise, here we go. Dedicated just for you, since it's the last week of the regular season and it's the last day of the year. For you guys, since I won't see you probably until next season, ranks for the memories. Starting off with the quarterbacks. The Ravens need a win to ensure that they're in the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson played a lot better in the second half of the season. Looks like he's saving his best for last. So I've got him at the top here. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers, because, he's fucking Aaron Rodgers. He's playing for playoff seeding, so he ain't going to fuck around. Not against Chicago, because as good as the defense of Chicago is, we all know Aaron Rodgers owns their asses. Josh Allen's set to do the Josh Allen thing against the Dolphins. Nothing about the Dolphins' defense scares me enough to put me off of Josh Allen this week. The dude's a stud. He's too good. And the Bills are jockeying for playoff position, so get Allen out there. Tom Brady's got to will his team to victory like he always does. And it's not going to be very hard at home against Atlanta. I think you'll light it up in this game, so put him out there. Just because the Texans are out of playoff contention doesn't mean that Deshaun Watson is going to play like some fucking jamoke. Get him out there. On the other side of the ball there, Tannehill's a stud, the Titans want to win, and Houston sucks ass on defense. Put all those together, and that equals a start for Tannehill. After what we've witnessed Jalen Hurts do over the last few weeks, are we really going to sit him just because he's out of the playoffs? He wants to make sure that no other QB, including Wentz, is in the conversation for starter next year. I think he proves his point in this game against Washington. Get him out there. Russ Wilson has had some up and down weeks, a lot more down weeks than up recently, but he always comes through when the Seahawks need him. And as a Niners fan, I know he always plays well against Frisco, so don't worry, start him up. Hey, Kyler Murray's been a little bit banged up, but he's still playing pretty well. I know the Rams are a tough defense, that's why I've got him down to number 9 this week. But he's still a top 10 QB. Play him. You think just because there's no playoffs in sight for the Chargers, Justin Herbert doesn't have anything to play for? This guy wants to break records and be the Rookie of the Year. I'd say that's enough to boost him up to a top play, especially against a stripped-down Kansas City Chiefs defense. Set him and forget him. Now we round up the top 20 here. I'm just going to talk about a couple of these guys. Hey, I do like Phillip Rivers this week. He never blows it up. He's never going to give you a 30-burger. But, he's good for like 20 to 25 points. That's why I've got him just outside the top 10 here. But nonetheless, against that Jacksonville D, yeah, he should do pretty well. I've already told you about my plan for Trubisky. If you're in a deeper league or you've got some guts, start him up. Drew Brees will be just fine against Carolina. Maybe not top 10, but he'll be fine. Probably rest some of their starters for Minnesota, so Kirk, nah, no thanks. Matt Ryan, no Julio, Baker Mayfield against Pittsburgh, nah, I'm okay. And then the rest of the jamokes there. Although one guy I do want to say is like CJ Beathard there at number 20. If you're in a 2-quarterback league, pick this guy up. I think he's going to do well against Seattle. But look at what he did last week. Playing spoiler to the Cardinals. It was good stuff. He could be a sneaky pick this week in deep leagues and a great low percentage DFS tournament play. Let's move on to running backs. Of course, I got King Henry there at the top. They're playing for seeding. No reason to sit him. Alvin Kamara, same deal. Jonathan Taylor, hey, it's Jacksonville. The Colts need to win. I'm looking for the rookie to tear it up this week. David Montgomery killed Green Bay last time, and he's only been playing better since. Yeah, he's definitely a top 5 play this week. He better run his ass off if the Bears want to get in the playoffs. I think he will. The Pack are the 8th worst against running backs for fantasy, giving up over 21 fantasy points per game this season. Monty's gonna rip shit up in this game, so make sure he's in your starting lineup. And we need to stop sleeping on Jeff Wilson Jr. He's got the fantasy playground of Seattle this week, so he should be having one hell of a time. And you will too if you're starting him this week. Now the Sea Chickens defense has played well recently, but they're still giving up around 18 fantasy points per game to running backs, so I'm not afraid of them. Especially since I see Wilson trying to carve out a starting role for himself. If not in San Francisco, somewhere else. And yeah, like I said, the Chargers don't have a lot to play for. But also, like I said, Herbert is looking to break some records. He's looking to be the Rookie of the Year this year. And if he wants to do that, he's going to need a little help from his friends, like Austin Eckler. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is stripped down this week as they're resting many of their starters for the playoffs. Look for Eckler to get some easy checkdowns and some nice runs in this game. He's a top 10 guy this week. Start him up. Deandre Swift is going to kill it against Minnesota. Even though the Lions have nothing to play for, Deandre Swift sure does. He wants to prove he's worth a big payday, and he could definitely boost some of his numbers against the Vikings this week. I mean, did you see what Kamara did to them last week? Even if Swift gets half of that, that's still like a 30-burger. Either way, in your championship game, he's money. Start him up. As for Nick Chubb, I don't care if he's facing Pittsburgh, he's Nick fucking Chubb. The guy's a beast. Get him out there. Aaron Jones I'd have higher up on the list if it weren't for the fact I'm a little bit worried. A.J. Dillon's really eating in that production, and they want to see what they have with that kid. I think that Dillon takes over the number 1 running back spot next season, and I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones gets traded. And I think Green Bay is going to want to see what they have with him from here on out. But it looks like Aaron Jones is healthy again, so he should still have a pretty good game. Just not top 5 like we'd think. Myles Gaskins looking like a franchise running back recently, and even though the Dolphins don't have anything to play for, Myles wants to get paid. And if he has a good game against Buffalo, that'll help a lot. And it'll help you win a championship too if you've got him. Start him. Let's take a look at the next 20. Malcolm Brown's going to be the top running back for the Rams this week against Arizona. The Cards are bottom 10 against running backs, giving up around 20 fantasy points per game to the position. And we saw what Brown did earlier in this season. When given the rock, this kid can roll. And I think he'll roll over the Cardinals this week. Yeah, I've got him higher than other analysts. You doubt me? Just watch. Apparently Antonio Gibson's got the healing abilities of fucking Wolverine. I've never seen a guy come back so strong from turf toe that quick. I like him this week. It's sad to see what's happened to Zeke Elliott this year, but I think he's still an RB2. And after seeing what David Johnson did last week, I ain't sitting him this week against Tennessee, even if the Houston Texans have nothing to play for. I think Johnson's got a lot to prove. Rojo's back, so get him out there. I'm not sure exactly what to do with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards this week. That's why I've kind of got them back-to-back here. I think it's going to be a true running back by committee, and both backs should do all right against a weak Cincinnati Boners defense. If you're dabbing with Dobbins or hopping on the Gus bus, you should be okay. And on the other side of the ball, I'm not sure what the hell they're going to do with Gio Bernard and Samaje Perine. I mean, Perine played better than Bernard, but Bernard's supposedly their starter? I don't know. That's why I've got them, kind of close to each other. I've got a little bit of a nod to Bernard just because, he's the guy. But Samaje Perine could be the guy by the end of the game. Both are worth a start at the flex this week. With no CEH and a scaled-back workload for Lev Bell, look for Darrell Williams to have a good week against the Chargers. They're middle of the pack against running backs, and even though Kansas City's sitting some of their starters, it's not like they're going to roll over and die. I think Williams is another sneaky DFS play this week. Speaking of which, moving on to the bottom of the top 50, like I said earlier, A.J. Dillon could play spoiler to Aaron Jones this week, another sneaky DFS tournament play. Dari Ogunbowale, I don't know if that's how you say his name, but he's a warm body at running back, so he's worth mentioning, even if I can't say his name right. I wish the Buffalo Bills would figure out what the fuck they want to do with running back. Zach Moss, I think, is the better back. They need to start giving him the rock more. But Devin Singletary's like a turd that won't flush, so he's up there too. With no CMC and no Mike Davis, the Panthers are turning to Rodney Smith as the top running back this week, or they're going to go with Cannon. I don't know. They say Smith. They could go Cannon, but I've got Smith in the top 50 and not Cannon. I don't know. Hopefully you don't have to start either of these guys. And to round it off, I got Kalen Ballage there at number 50, just in case they end up holding Eckler back, because Anthony Lynn's known to, fuck up our fantasy squads with weird fucking decisions at the last second. May as well have Kalen Ballage there just in case. On the wide receivers, no real surprises here. Devontae Adams, at the top, I don't need to get into that. Calvin Ridley, without Julio Jones, it's just going to be him and Russell Gage, so he'll get a lot of attention. A.J. Brown's got a great matchup at Houston, and he's a stud anyway. DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to get the Ramsey treatment, but it's fucking D-Hop. Nuke is going to nuke it up. DK Metcalf always plays well against the Niners. Period. Start him up. Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen are pretty much matchup proof. They're right now the best quarterback wide receiver duo in fantasy football. No way do you sit them in a week where they need to get a win. Even if they get a big early lead and sit, they'll still produce well enough for a good fantasy day. So don't be afraid to start them. Allen Robinson's going to do Allen Robinson things. Green Bay defense is kind of suspect. more so against the run than the pass. But Aaron Rodgers is going to get that score up, and Mitch Trubisky and the Bears are going to need to play catch-up. So I think Allen Robinson will have a pretty good day. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen might get held back a little bit, although so far, it doesn't seem like it. All indications say they're going to be running everyone as normal, other than Cook, but this could change throughout the week, so keep an eye on it. Mike Evans is probably the most underrated wide receiver in fantasy football. High-end wide receiver too. This week, he creeps into wide receiver 1 territory, as he and Tom Brady are going to need to do some damage to get a win this week against the Falcons. Moving down the list here, I think Chris Godwin will have a good game too. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore should do okay against New Orleans. And I got Curtis Samuel at the back end of this part of the list. He's a flex play still. Gadget guy, I think he'll get some work done. As far as Robbie and DJ Moore go, they're going to do their usual work. Robbie more of a high-end wide receiver 2. DJ Moore more of a low-end wide receiver 2. Start them as you normally would. That's all they got. As long as Jarvis Landry is clear from the COVID list, start him up this week. The Browns need a win. Landry's the top wide receiver there. You see where I'm going with this. Sterling Shepard's been good in a quiet way lately, but he may speak a little louder this week as he feasts on the fantasy fiesta of Dallas. And with Keenan Allen likely shut down, Mike Williams will be the top guy for Herbert. I'd put him up higher on the list, but he usually craps the bed if you put him up too high, so I'll leave him right where he is. Moving along. I like the connection between Michael Gallup and Andy Dalton lately. I think Gallup's worth a look at the flex this week. T. Higgins has been the only pass catcher worth a damn for the Bengals lately, so he's worth a look. I hate to see Chase Claypool this far down, but with Mason Rudolph at the helm, I don't like his chances. If Mike Williams doesn't get the job done, Tyron Johnson will for Herbert, so he's worth a look in deeper leagues. Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman, hey, it could be either one. Someone's got to catch balls from Henny, right? Now let's take a look at the tight ends, with Travis Kelce sitting this week. Picking a top tight end's not that easy. Oh wait, yeah it is. Waller the baller, of course. Even though they have nothing to play for, they're still going to play. I think Darren Waller is going to get his usual workload, and he's going to be the top tight end this week. And Bob Tonyan's been like the surprise of the year at tight end this year. And with top seeding on the line, I think that Rodgers is going to want his top tight end touchdown target, Tonyan, try to say that 5 times fast, in the red zone, scoring points for the pack and scoring points for you. Hey, you got to give it up for Mandrews at the Bengals this week. This guy's just killing it anyway. But he's got a soft matchup, so he's going to be in the top 3. I guarantee it. George Kittle was back last week at about half power. But half power for Kittle is about full power for any other tight end. So even if he's playing half-ass this week, you want him starting for you. Gronk's been killing it with Brady. Like, what else is new? I like him against Atlanta this week. Now, TJ Hawkins and the Lions might not have much to play for, but there's not many people to throw to. If Chase Daniels is starting again, he's going to need to throw to someone. And TJ Hawkinson is the perfect security blanket tight end. Evan Ingram gets the feast on the fantasy fiesta of Dallas. Need I say more? No. Moving on. Logan Thomas. Yeah, I'm not even sure who's throwing at him this week. They haven't made a real decision yet. But, again, like I said with Hawkinson, a good tight end makes a good security blanket for an inexperienced quarterback. So I'm not afraid to start him at Philly. Irv Smith's been putting it together lately. And this week, he's got a matchup against the Purring Kittens of Detroit. And without much to play for, the Vikings might sit Thielen and Jefferson early, which means more opportunities for Irv. Start him up. No offense to main man for Drew Lock. Drew Lock wants to prove that he can quarterback. He's got one last game to do it. Hey, you've been listening to what I said about security blankets? Start Noah Fant. As for the rest of the top 20, it's the usual suspects. I've got Ebron far down, obviously because Mason Rudolph's starting. I've got Jimmy Graham back in the mix because of what he did last week. Austin Hooper's there just in case the COVID thing doesn't work out for a lot of the other wide receivers. And Trey Burton could have a good game against the Pussycats of Jacksonville. So I got him there too. Moving on to defenses, I already talked to you about some streaming defenses earlier in the week, but here's how my defenses rank for Week 17. I got Baltimore on top. They're a great defense, and they're facing the Cincinnati Boners. What else you want to know? Indianapolis Colts versus Jacksonville, same kind of thing. The Cardinals at the Rams. With no Jared Goff this week, well, it probably isn't going to be much different, because Jared Goff sucks too. The Cards have been playing well at defense lately, and they've got a good matchup here, so hey, I bumped them up. The Patriots face off against the Jets. Yeah, I've been picking on them all season. It continues to work. I'm continuing to do it. Tampa Bay Bucks. Yeah, Matty Ice throws picks. Sometimes pick sixes. May as well start them up. The Chargers get KC in a week where the Chiefs are dressing down to their skivvies. And even when they started a full squad, the Chargers did alright against them early in the season. So I think they'll do better this week. They're worth a top 10 look. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a great defense, but Cleveland's going to be playing hard. I still have them just outside the top 10, but beware. Everything else is pretty much based on matchup. If you've made it this far, you know what to do. And finally, the kickers. Justin Tucker's at the top of the list. Big surprise, right? Followed by Goggles, of course. He's got the Jacksonville Jaguars, so, he'll have all 4 eyes on the ball this week. You got Lutz, Suckup, Koo, Butker, Sanders, the usual bunch of guys who are solid and are going to get about 10 points a week. But I like Tyler Bass a lot this week. Miami's got a good enough defense, they might actually stop the Bills in the red zone. If that's the case, Tyler Bass is going to get some work this week. Kick ass, Tyler Bass. Always start Legatron, even against the Giants. As for the rest of them, hey, it's just a mishmash. Whatever you feel like, go with your gut. If you need to go past the top 10 kickers to find someone, just throw a fucking dart at the board. Honestly. But that's who I like this week anyway. That's it for the ranking show. If you want more in-depth analysis, come check me out this Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, for my Tinker Stinker Power Hour. Or if that's not good enough, check out my link to my Patreon below. I've got some deals on there where you can get unlimited one-on-one advice from me. Have your own guru in your pocket. Hey, it'll help you win a championship, so why not? Anyway, good luck this week. I hope to see you all on Sunday for the Tinker Stinker Power Hour. Either way, though, win that championship. Bring that title home, baby. Until Sunday, I'm out. Peace.